Hey dudes, what's up? Today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite lost media cases ever, Cricket and Clover. Cricket and Clover was meant to be the second studio album by the band Panic at the Disco, but unfortunately it was never released. The year is 2007 and the band Panic at the Disco is coming off of their Nothing Rhymes with Circus tour. Guitar player Ryan Ross is in the very early stages of writing the lyrics for the second studio album, with heavy production planned for March of 2007. In order to perfect the album, all four members of Panic at the Disco, Brendan Urie, Spencer Smith, Ryan Ross, and John Walker, all relocate to a cabin in the middle of the mountains of Nevada. And so, Cricket and Clover begun. This album was going to be very different from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. This album was planned to be a concept album telling the story of a doomed love story. Reportedly, each track led into the next one. Producer Rob Mathis recalls the song structures were really bizarre. There was no choruses, just parts that didn't repeat. To make the album sound more bizarre, Spencer Smith planned on building a drum kit made out of glass and wood. And in quotes of keeping the music sounding as bizarre as possible, Ryan Ross was quoted to say, "To hell with our guitars." Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy was one of the very few people who actually got to listen to the album. He described it as a film score that suddenly turns into Beatles 2007. Mainly because Ryan Ross was really into music conductors at the time, such as Danny Elfman. But the downfall of this album is strictly because the band tried too hard to perfect the album. Meanwhile, the label wanted the songs done. And so the band scrapped Cricket and Clover and proceeded to work on the second studio album, Pretty Odd. And nothing existed of the album. Well, nothing that we knew of existed. But a YouTuber by the name of L Supersonic tracked down a British magazine that reportedly had a track list for the album. The magazine consisted of 7 song titles. There was Once a Man from Nantucket, Falcon Around, I Don't Have a Shirt But I've Got a Hat, Fill Me Up, Porridge, Nearly Witches, and It's True Love. But songs like Falcon Around and Nearly Witches actually went on to be on future albums such as Vices and Virtues and Pretty Odd, but most of them were scrapped. But it is interesting that in 2007, the band did play a song called It's True Love on their tour. That song was supposedly going to be on the album, but for years those songs were all that existed from Cricket and Clover. Nobody knew what happened to the demos, nobody knew where the songbooks were, that's all there was. In fact, in 2015, Brendan Urie actually was on Periscope and was asked about the album. This was his response.
Do I still have anything from Cricket and Clover? The Cabin album? I don't have that stuff, but we have it on a hard drive, yeah. It's somewhere.
So, Cricket and Clover was a lost cause until October 2018. Former bass player John Walker took to Twitter and said, "My dad just found a CD with 3 Cricket and Clover demos if anyone was wondering." And after listening to that disc, he found another CD that included 11 more demos for Cricket and Clover. He described them as beautiful yet weird and also pre-weed. But due to contracts, he couldn't release anything. So we sit here now in January 2021, hoping that Cricket and Clover might be released sometime, or just the demos, honestly, even if it's just to YouTube. I actually remember whenever John first tweeted that he found the demos for Cricket and Clover. I was actually in chemistry class, and I was so excited. Nobody knew what I was talking about, and nobody cared, but I was excited. But yeah, I've been a fan of Panic at the Disco for a really long time. I've even seen them live once, and I don't know. I really hope this album gets released eventually. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments, and tell me what's your favorite Panic at the Disco album, as well as what you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget, be nice to each other.